xjtalk show.
It's on.
Now. Welcome to Jeep Cherokee, xjtalk.com show. My name's Tony, also known as Mutteroy on xjtalk.com. This is a talk show about XJ vehicles, which is the two-letter designator for the Jeep Cherokee. Produced for many years, almost 3 million units sold. We love them, we drive them. Some of us take them off-road. Most of us take them off-road. Tonight we're going to be playing a pre-recorded interview with Wayne Lang, cantab27, from Christchurch, New Zealand. This interview was recorded just a week before the 6.3 earthquake that they had and devastated the Church Christ area. So, and we may actually have a call from Wayne after the interview just to catch up with him from last week's live interview. So we'll get started here right away. xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road. Do you have questions or comments that you would like played on the air? We've set up voicemail just for that purpose. All you have to do is call 530-675-4102. Just leave your name, your location, and your question or comment. Chances are good it'll get played on the air. That number again is 530-675-4102. We look forward to hearing from you today.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you about xjtalk.com. It's a great site. There's no bashing. Everybody's nice and friendly. Great place to be.
This is Brian XJ, just calling in to tell you that we really like the website, full of a lot of tech and a lot of good people. I always get a response back quickly. Thanks. Have a good day.
Okay, so just looking here at the chat room, we've got Dalton 4x4. Dalton, we can always count on you to be here. I know that a couple of the guys are out doing a vehicle recovery tonight. We had a new member come up in the chat room on XJ Talk and say, "Hey, need some help out night wheeling with a friend of mine," and they rolled the Jeep. So I'm not sure if it was an XJ or not. It certainly doesn't matter as far as the rolling of said vehicle, because we're all a part of a community and we want to try to help out anybody that needs the help. Anyway, there wasn't anybody available last night. It was around 10:30, I guess, Central Time when that information came in. And seems everybody up in North Houston goes to bed early because they have to get up early to go to work. So I believe Rini and Matt were going to be going out there tonight or after work and trying to roll the vehicle back over. That new member is Big Jeep. I wanted to say Big Jim. Big Jeep. And He was a passenger in the vehicle. So hopefully we'll get some images, whether it be video or stills, up on the site. And of course, the site is xjtalk.com, in case you didn't know. So what I have here tonight is an interview that we were originally going to play last week, but the 6.3 devastating earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand occurred just the day before the normal Wednesday show. So it was just by luck, Wayne was actually able to call in via Skype from Christchurch and just, give us a good idea of what was going on there and his thoughts and feelings that he was going through. And it was a very interesting interview for me anyway, being on the other half of it. Hopefully it was for you as well. But that was last week, and because of the events and because Wayne was able to call in live, we did not play that recorded interview. So that's what we're going to do tonight. The recorded interview was done 1 week before the 6.3 earthquake in New Zealand. And I believe there's even some discussion about the earthquake that happened back in September, and also to the threat of new earthquakes coming up. And of course, we had no idea what was going to be occurring just 1 short week away. So anyway, without further ado, let's get to the interview. Tonight we have Wayne Lang, cantab27 from xjtalk.com. Thanks for joining us, Wayne.
It's a pleasure to be here, Tony.
Wayne is down in New Zealand, and Wayne, I guess you've been there all your life, right?
Yep, born and bred in Christchurch, but I did spend 10 years living in Australia.
How was that?
Hot. Very hot.
So it's not as hot. It's not as hot in New Zealand.
No, Australia is one big desert. She's be close to what you guys get by reading your Texas weather. Humid, really hot.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. So
it depends what part, Queensland.
Right. Certainly, it's a long ways away from us, which is the thing that I find most interesting about Jeep Cherokees and other countries. It's such a long way from where they were manufactured. Of course, parts come in from all over the world, so it's hard to have anything these days that is built by one. Tonight we have Wayne Lang, cantab27 from xjtalk.com. Thanks for joining us, Wayne.
It's a pleasure to be here, Tony.
Wayne is down in New Zealand, and Wayne, I guess you've been there all your life, right?
Yep, born and bred in Christchurch, but I did spend 10 years living in Australia.
How was that?
Hot. Very hot.
So it's not as hot. It's not as hot in New Zealand.
No, Australia is one big desert. She's be close to what you guys get by reading your Texas weather. Humid, really hot.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. So
it depends what part, Queensland.
Right. Certainly, it's a long ways away from us, which is the thing that I find most interesting about Jeep Cherokees and other countries. It's such a long way from where they were manufactured. Of course, parts come in from all over the world, so it's hard to have anything these days that is built by one country, although I guess the Russians probably did it with varied results. So, Wayne, what do you do in Christchurch?
I'm a concrete placer. I do decorative concrete, driveways, patios, and such.
Oh, that'd be great to have here. I'd like to have some work done. I guess the travel expense would probably kill me.
No job too big or small, Tony. 3 quotes.
So how long have you been doing that?
Must be coming up 9 years again on that.
My goodness. So something interesting happened, I guess, last month or so. Interesting to us because we don't really have a month off. You were off for a month, right?
Yeah, they've just increased your holidays in New Zealand. You were entitled to 3 weeks at Christmas time, plus your 4 stats, which is Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, or whatever it is. They've just increased it to 4 weeks plus your stats.
So is that just for your company, or is that like a national thing?
That's all over New Zealand.
So how do you buy anything if everybody's off?
No, it just works out. All the holidays are, you can take them whenever. Most companies close down, like the building industry, like I'm in, closed down, but yeah, shops, bars, and everything else keeps going. They just have their holidays different times of the year.
I got you. That makes sense. It's simple, but I kind of had it in my mind. It was a national thing, and I thought, man, everybody's off for a month. What do? You have to like stock up and eat beans.
It's staggered. The holidays are staggered. Like before I was concreting, I was working in bars, running bars, and I'd take my holidays in the middle of the year kind of thing, which was kind of cool because no one else was on holiday.
Right. Well, that makes it nice to, I'm sure it makes it nicer to get out and do things during the day when everybody else is working.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed that. Because you could just do more stuff.
And this really isn't related to anything but probably New Zealand. Do you have like fast food places like
yes.
Jack in the Box and things like that?
We got the Golden Arches, your pizzas, your Pizza Hut, your Subway. Yeah, what was it? We call it Burger King. Over in Australia, it's Hungry Jack's. But we got all those ones, KFC. And then you got your corner fish and chip shops or burger bars where they'll make the burger you kind of want. Mm-hmm. And then a grill in front of you kind of thing, just like a little size of your average lounge kind of a shop.
See, that was the thing that disappointed me the most about visiting Mexico. I went over there with my wife. She's originally from Mexico. And I went over there to, this was years ago too, before our second daughter was born, and she just turned 16. So we were in Monterey. I was very disappointed because they had a Chili's. They had a Whataburger. It was like, going into Houston. So, that's just the way things go. But you know what? I think that the American vision is, it's like people in other parts of the country. They speak with somebody in Texas. They want to know if you have an oil well and how many cows you have. So, and interestingly enough, I did have a cousin with an oil well.
It's funny. We also have, they're called dairies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you call them convenience stores, but they're only little stores. They're usually old houses, and the lounge is turned into a wee shop. And you got one of those in most corners. Like I've got two within 5 minutes where I am, drive. You'll go into your suburbs or town, and there's usually one in every third corner, and they're run by Indians or Chinese. It's quite bizarre. It's always been like that. It's handy. It's just like your cigarettes to your ice creams to just little household products. They're everywhere. I
got you. So it would be like our Stop and Go or 7-Eleven, or I can't remember the one. I never stop at them. I hate those little things. They're convenience stores.
Well, yeah, we call them dairies here. I'll post a couple of pictures. They're quite bizarre because, like I said, they're on the corner and just like old houses converted into little shops. It's been like this as I can remember. That
would be interesting because that's not how we do it here. Of course, the places that we have here are kind of like gas stations and convenience stores, and if you forget your can of green beans on Christmas or Thanksgiving, you can go buy a can of green beans at the convenience store for like $8, and they're normally like $1 or something. So,
well, our surveys are going like that now. Because we're about 10, 20 years behind everyone. So our survey stations, you get your groceries in that there now kind of thing. It's all beginning to change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's killed most of the main town and shopping, our CDB or whatever you call it. Yeah, the central business district. That's all dying because of the big malls are going up. But like I said, we're far behind. We're slow to catch up the way people shop and whatnot.
Well, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the malls are fine, but most men don't like going to the malls because it's an adventure. You can't just go get what you need and get back to the television or the computer or whatever it is you want to get back to. Of course,
there's no cheap parts at the mall.
Yeah, of course, the women like cruising around and seeing everything and doing the window shopping. So.
Yeah, and you get caught for cruising around looking at the woman cruising around.
Well, that's why they make dark sunglasses, Wayne.
Yeah. See, I told you we were way behind.
it's like looking at the sun. You just don't look at it very long. If you look at it too long, it's going to burn your eyes.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, so anyway, getting to the meat of it, the Jeep. You've got a Jeep Cherokee XJ. What year is it again?
It's 95.
And how did you come across that?
I actually had this would be nice for Jim. I had a Toyota Hilux double cab that was slightly modded and kept overheating. So the wife told me to get rid of it because she didn't like it. So I was actually looking at Land Rovers. They're Discoveries, the V8 ones.
Right.
And I come across an ad for the Jeep Cherokee, went round and drove it, and I like the way the window wiper, how it washes the whole windscreen.
Right.
And I like that, so I brought it. And yeah, ever since then, I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't even know that it was unibody, that they didn't have chassis back then.
Mm-hmm. So how many miles did it have on it?
Sorry?
How many miles?
160, I think it might have been less. It was very tidy when I brought it, and I paid just over 3 for it, I think, or 3.5.
How long ago did you get it?
That would be 3 and a bit years ago.
So that's not a bad price. I mean, even here, that wouldn't have been really bad a price.
I was if you could, when I first started posting, you can see some photos of it, and it's actually quite a tidy one. It's not so tidy now, but hey.
Well, you've used it quite a bit.
Yes, it's I brought it, had all these clunking noises as they do and whatnot, but because of joining these forums, I just slowly weeded it out myself, asked questions, tried things, fixed things.
It's great.
That's what I like about them.
Yeah, it's great knowing how they're put together, and it's a big confidence builder when you know what to look for and what to expect, and it can be very maddening at times because, especially when you fix something and it fails again, or something similar or in that area fails, and you wonder when you're ever going to get to it or get done with it.
It's like I think I read Steph saying to one of the boys yesterday, Brian, it might have been saying to Brian about, don't worry about it, it's only a piece of metal, go back to it kind of thing, which it is. We walk away and go back to it and have another go.
Right. Well, I think we have a little bit different perspective because we can go down, or you can go pretty much anywhere and find one with a whole nother set of problems for $500. And of course, that's one of the problems you guys have there, the owners of Jeep Cherokees in New Zealand, is parts, getting parts. And actually, I guess getting the parts aren't so bad as the price that you have to pay for them.
Yeah, pricing's, that's the colour. But in saying that, not many people do the XJs. That's another reason why I got one, because it's different. Everyone's like, they do the Japanese stuff over here, or the British stuff, the Land Rovers, the Nissans, or the Toyotas, the Surfs, the Hiluxes, whatnot. I wanted something different. And a lot of people do Wranglers, but I still wanted to be a wee bit different. So I got the XJ.
What was it? I can't remember if it was you that told me that the XJ is like a luxury vehicle. And
it is here. When they first come out, they were worth a lot of money. When mine probably retailed in 95 for near on $60,000.
My God. So it's viewed as a luxury vehicle, and anybody that makes modifications to it is viewed as being insane.
Well, that's funny because the Jeep Club I was going to join, they've got a lot of older blokes there, even older than me, Bear, that brought them brand new. And I've rocked up and, I've cut it and gutted it and dented it, and they kind of looked down their noses at me, so I didn't really end up joining.
You young whippersnappers.
I reckon.
Well, that's what the Jeep is for. I mean, the name Jeep. I mean, military. It's a military vehicle. Its birth was a military vehicle, World War II, and it's designed to go places. So you're doing exactly what it was designed to do. And I understand how people, if they don't want to do that, that's perfectly acceptable. But to me, you're having fun with it. You're enjoying yourself.
That's what it's for. It's a four-wheel drive. Mine actually coming from Japan too. It's imported from Japan. So I left America, went to Japan. I don't know when they would have done the right-hand drive conversion, but I was actually water blasting the motor the other day, and one of the stickers, Japanese stickers, come off, and it's got the American writing, watch your fingers for the belt or whatever it is, warning.
Right.
So I'm not sure where they did the right-hand drive conversion. I think Japan drives on the same side as us, so maybe over there or before it left the country, I'm not real sure.
I wonder if they have a plant there. I was thinking they actually built them there.
It might be assembled there, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just assuming. I don't remember reading anything about it. I was just assuming that that maybe Chrysler licensed it to, or Jeep licensed it to be built over there, and they just they built it, and then it was closer to ship from there to the.
A very underrated vehicle over here. They you get looked down your noses at, but more people are seeing my one out and about. They're beginning to take notice and looking at them, and I wouldn't mind one of those. And there are a couple of nice ones being built up now.
That's interesting. Well, there was that red one that the gentleman was.
I have got updated photos of that. I'm just waiting for it to be emailed to me. I took a lot of photos the other day when we were flushing my transmission out. I'll do a write up on it as well.
Oh, great! Yeah, that was very interesting. I forget his name on XJ Talk, but it was interesting. He sent me a message telling me he was going to create a Jeep look just like mine. I was very flattered, and my gosh, that was a beautiful Jeep. Once he got the lift and the tires and stuff on it.
Oh, Caney. Yeah, we went out wheeling a few times, but I think I told you he had to sell it to start his business.
Yep.
And he couldn't sell it lifted, looking like that. He had to break it down. He had to put it stock suspension back on it and tires.
My goodness.
He sold the Jeep. Was it 2000, wasn't it? For 6,000. He had 1,300 on the lift and 1,300 for those rims and tires, which was quite a good deal.
Yeah.
Can you just pause for a minute, Tony? My landline's going.
Go right ahead. So it sounds like he broke everything apart. He got more money for it than he would have selling it all together. Of course, the buyer maybe they didn't want all that crap on it.
Yeah, it's not crap when it's lifted. It's rude not to lift the Jeep, actually.
I agree with you, but over in New Zealand, it may have been that people didn't want it being a luxury vehicle. They wanted it, like it was.
I think the guy wanted it for towing, but I would have left it. A guy paid $6. He could have had 10 before that. It was a very good looking Jeep.
Oh, it was beautiful.
But he might not want it.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
For that.
It really reminded me of mine whenever I first started making modifications to it. Beautiful color. That red really
stood out in those
out.
photos, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. But you guys like your green, and I wouldn't mind a green Jeep. I mean, green's great for off road and back in the woods. And
hey, don't play this bit, but you will. But I don't care what colour they are, as long as they're an XJ. Yeah, green's just an in-house joke.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, they're all of them have. It's just the body lines and how they look, especially lifted.
They look cool.
Yeah, whenever it's a stock thing, it looks a lot like a station wagon, even though they're very capable stock. But once you lift it, oh my gosh, it's just an amazing transformation.
Lifted in a set of muddies, they go well because they're so light and the power to ratio thing, isn't it?
Yes, they really get going fast. I mean, I routinely would go well over 100 in mine. That's back in the stock configuration.
I took the trip in this stock one, my mate's stock limited, 94 limited, the leather, and I forgot how nice they drive stock standard and the power, beautiful.
Yeah, well, you never did change the gears in yours, did you? Yours still got the 355?
It's on the list, but it's not really a daily driver.
Right.
But it is on the list.
I was just going to mention that when I put the 456 gears in mine, it was like driving it when it was stock, except you're sitting high.
I'm going to have to do it then.
It was an amazing thing that for the fun of driving the Jeep, that was the biggest thing that I've done to it. It was expensive, but it was the best thing because you notice it every time you drive it.
Wonder if it's worth pricing up some gears, and you know how I put that post up with my friend going to Hawaii?
That's not a bad idea. Because the gears are a little heavy, but I don't think they'd be as heavy as wheel bearing assemblies.
Because I'm going to put a wee list on there, so hopefully people can price or put us some links to some pricing, and then me and him are going to nut out, think what would be a good stuff to bring over, just throw in our gear bag kind of thing. Like a lot of sensors will be worth bringing back.
And I'm sorry, the people listening that don't understand what we're talking about, it costs a lot of money to get parts in New Zealand, and it's largely due to getting it shipped there. And the parts themselves are expensive too, but the shipping is outrageous. So he's got a friend. Yeah, he's got a friend that's going to be going to Hawaii, and in the United States, we have a deal with the U.S. Post Office where they have this deal where if it fits in a box, it's a certain size box, it's 70 pounds or less, it ships for a fixed rate. So for something like $8 or something, we can ship something from Houston to Hawaii. So, and then his friend, whenever his friend gets on the plane to come back home, he can, check at his luggage. And now the whole shipping thing, gosh, I guess gears would probably cost $50, $60, $100 to get shipped to New Zealand. And now we're talking about $8, and the guy's, on the plane anyway. So, that obviously is a cost, but it's not going to be a shipping cost.
As an example, our front hubs or bearings like $250, $100 a side. I think it's A1 Tony selling them $100 a pair, American.
Right, and I'm sorry, how much was the shipping?
No, that's just our ones landed here. For me to go to where I buy them from to buy new ones is $250 to $300 a side.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you can probably figure that a lot of that is shipping, and it just amazes me that they're, gosh, you would think that somebody would snap up the idea of putting a bunch of this stuff on a boat. Well, again, there's not that many Jeep Cherokees over there, so I guess it's just not worth doing it, and that would be another reason why the prices are high.
Although that's someone should have been decent hubs for the ones you could re-grease and repack, maybe.
That was a little disappointing to me as well. I'm not used to that. A sealed, non-serviceable bearing.
It's because I'm on beyond to. I know my left front one's playing up. That'll be my second set in 3 years since I've had it, and the last set be like if I'd done 10,000 Ks on them. But it does play in a lot of rubbish.
Right. Well, you get in the river a lot, and that's got to be washing out that grease.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a 4-wheel drive. You pay for these things.
Yeah, that's true. It's a hobby.
Yeah, it's the same as the bodywork's a bit bunged up, but hey.
So, what kind of things do you do over there? I mean, I'm asking this because you've been on our site, and there's a lot of American things and American ideas that we talk about there. What are the things that you do differently with your Jeep than we do over here, or are there different things?
Nothing really. It's more a learning curve for me personally, myself, and getting ideas from you, which can make my modifications cheaper, if you get what I mean.
Sure.
Or silly, or not stupid or silly ideas. The good example is the pool noodles.
Yeah.
Inside your door. I had no idea how to sort that out, and Rennie, he said, "Yeah, $2," and it did cost me $2, and that was brilliant. Probably one of the better things I've done because it keeps all the crap and stuff out of the hinges and inside the cab. Right.
I was a little surprised by that too. It makes perfect sense. But he talked about it on the website, and then one of our Houston area meet and greets, I said, "Show me the pool noodle." I was a little nervous at first, but he pointed towards the Jeep.
That was on his interview, wasn't it? I remember that.
Yes, it was
a video interview. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And the thing I found interesting was I believe he had a pool noodle on one side, but not on the other.
Just the driver's side.
So he was pool noodle pacing himself.
It's more that I get more ideas of you. It's just like we can't go to the junkyard, as you call them. We call them car wreckers, and make a so-called basket pack up or get springs or bits and pieces off wrecks. We just don't have the vehicles over here for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I think you used your Broncos or your F-150s or your Mustang injectors, for examples. We just don't have that, and if they did, because they're rare over here, they'd be so expensive.
So what is I guess all the cars, there's no national, a local built or a New Zealand built vehicle? We've
never built cars. We Australian cars, the Ford Falcon and the Holden, then it's your Japanese, your Toyotas, your Nissans, and then you got your British, your Land Rover and whatnot.
Or the Land Rover.
Then you got a lot of European cars here now, very cheap. The BMWs, your Peugeots and whatnot, they're getting very cheap over here now.
Are the Land Rovers very prevalent?
They're probably classed the same as the Jeep. They're underrated,
really?
But people reckon they got electrical problems. Everyone's got a personal what you like. It's what you like. I've never owned one, so I can't bag one. I've owned a Toyota. I could bank that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was thinking maybe there was a lot of them there. I know in England.
They're usually the soccer mum cars, the big V8 ones. I think your gangsters drive around in them with the bling bling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, they are luxury vehicles here because they cost so much.
They're a nice vehicle, but I have seen there are a few modified over here, but same, they're coming down in price because the cost of petrol. So the older ones, or the 95s, 90, even to the 2000, you probably pick up for $10,000 New Zealand.
Right.
So you could really go for driving a luxury.
Yeah, and I don't know, something kind of rubs me the wrong way. Of course, I've got power windows, heated mirrors. I've even got a block heater on mine. I guess mine is probably next to the fanciest one you could get. I think the one that I saw that had the only one that I've ever seen that had more was a sun or moon roof built into it, and I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't realize they came that way from the factory. I didn't actually realize that until I saw the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks. He was driving a blue Jeep Cherokee, beautiful Jeep Cherokee, and I think it was about the same year as mine. And it had a sun or moon roof on it, and I thought, what the hell? I thought I had everything on mine, but I was missing that.
Get Jimbo to gas cut you one in.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody says they leak, and of course that wouldn't be a problem with you, would it?
That would be a good way to get out when it's drowned, maybe.
Because you take yours in the deep water a lot, don't you?
Yeah, that's really all we got here. We got rivers. Have got some trails and some real hard stuff on the west coast, but most of our runs in Canterbury, where I live, or Christchurch, involve mud and rivers.
Well, I personally like the mud.
Oh, well, the freshwater river's good too because you just wash it on the way home.
That's true.
We haven't got rocks.
Yeah, I'm not a big rock person. I don't like the idea of rolling my vehicle in the process of trying to climb over rocks.
I'd be more worried about busting the old running gear, I think.
Yeah, maybe so.
The old that's all we got down. Well, here with it, we got some really hard stuff on the west coast, which is all mud and winching and making your own trails and probably bush bashing a bit to get around them. But we're pretty lucky to go wheeling. We're allowed to wheel most places. You're obviously not on private land and farms and stuff unless you get permission, and most of the farmers are quite good. Right. So we're really lucky.
Oh, actually, speaking of the land there, you've been having quite a few. There was a 7.1 or so, very close to Christchurch back in, was that July?
September the 4th. I know this one well. 6 minutes past 4. Wake me up. Did more than wake me up.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it was fortunately nobody was killed in that, but it did a lot of damage as well as 7 point anything should do. But the thing, I'm sorry.
We was just very lucky when it happened at that time of morning, Tony. I think looking at the damage in town and certain suburbs.
It was amazing. It was really amazing, especially the links that you were sending us. I was very enthused that you had internet access because I was afraid we weren't going to hear from you for some time. And
we were really lucky. The infrastructure, or they bandaged that up really okay. There was some suburbs who lost it for weeks and stuff. We were only out for like 3, 5, 6 hours kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's a suburb just up the road where my boy's mate lives. They've still got porta potties or your toilets outside. They've still got no sewer down there.
And that was from the initial earthquake and not the aftershocks.
We've had over 4,000 aftershocks. We had 4 yesterday. We've only had 1 today.
My goodness. I think that's the thing that shocked me the most. Hearing the 7.1 was a big deal, especially when I heard Christchurch, because I was like, that's where Wayne lives. And then I got on the site and got a hold of Rini Argonard and told him about it. And I don't know, he may have actually called you on the phone. I can't remember, but
I think he was trying to email and stuff.
Right.
But because we had no power, and I was actually spent the first couple of 3 hours sitting in my work ute, listening to the AM station on the radio, finding out where the earthquake was, because when it first struck, we live real close to the coast, and we were worried if it was out to sea, we were going to get washed out anyway with tsunami or something.
Right.
That was our biggest fear.
Yeah, that was.
We found out it was inland, so we were kind of a bit happier after that.
Right. So and then the thing that surprised me the most was not only all of the aftershocks, but so I heard such little about the quake and and almost nothing about the aftershocks. So really, the only reason why I knew about any of this stuff is because you were on XJ Talk telling us how many quakes or how many aftershocks you had that day, and some of them were 3, 4. You had some bigger than a 4.0, didn't you?
Yeah, we had some 5s, some good 5s. The last decent one rock we had was probably not the Friday gone. The one before was a 4.9. That rocked the house pretty good.
My goodness, and you're getting quite a bit of damage to your house as well, aren't you?
Well, they've quoted 20,000, and that's just visual. But we beg to differ. We've had story. I think it was Warren, who's on XJ Talk as well, another Kiwi. He's got friends who are same boat. They were 16,000 visual damage, and the quotes started coming in, and people looking at the work to do, the contractors, and they've quoted over 60,000.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's gone to Fletcher's now, who are doing all the rebuilds over $10,000. We'll just have to wait and see.
And you really don't want to get started on rebuilding anything with all the aftershocks, I would assume.
We are doing our first rip-out replace of a driveway next week, earthquake damage. They've given us the go-ahead.
So they think that maybe this is on the downside then?
Well, there's a guy predicting a big one next month, March, the 19th or 18th.
But was that a reliable scientific kind of guy, or?
My stepson's just sitting on the couch saying he's predicted that most of them so far. I actually put a link up. Steve 4.3. He's read it's quite a good read actually. If you don't know the link, MP Man or MP is a very good read. He's called the Moon Man. He's very good on tides and whatnot as well. It's really good reading. As in, it makes you wonder.
Right. So, but it's a guy that has made predictions in the past and has probably come. Yeah,
he's pretty close. It's all on the moon and the water and the pull of the gravity and a bit over my head actually, but yeah. Yeah,
stretching the crust and it moving.
But he's got everyone worried about the 19th, 18th or the 19th of next month. There's people actually leaving Christchurch.
Interesting. So March 19th, 18th or 19th. That'll be
18th. So if you don't hear from me, you know it was.
Well, I'm gonna mark that down so I can pay attention and make sure think happy thoughts. And maybe I'll jump up and down over here and see if I can counteract it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That'd be real cool.
Well, Wayne, we're hitting about the 30-minute mark. So, was there anything that you wanted to cover that we haven't already?
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to just say that one day we're planning on coming over there.
Oh, that'd be great.
And we just have to pick somewhere. I know America's a really big place. We won't be able to catch up with most people, but we'd have to sort something out. And then I'd like to go wheeling with hardcore beer, but I think he's a bit too hardcore for me now. and maybe do a few malls with Big Jim and Rennie, you know?
Oh man, Rennie's he's a wild man, as I'm sure you've been able to ascertain from.
He was like I do. I got to get some video of me doing some stuff. Being him,
yeah, that'd be great.
Common, I feel.
Yeah, I'd love to see some video.
Yeah, I do stuff like that. It's just good, Dave. But the Jeep holds up all right. I actually used the winch in the garden the other day, pulling out stumps. It was great.
Oh, the winch is a wonderful tool. I love. I've pulled out a rose bush for the wife. I said, look, honey, it's well worth the $500 I spent on it just to pull out this one bush.
I posted pictures and stuff. They pulled quite a good, nice stump out actually.
And what winch
I've read
is
their comments for that.
I forgot is that a Warren winch that you have, or I can't remember.
No, the Chinese one. It's the T-Mark or something like that.
It's like a 12,000 pound winch.
Yeah, it's 12. It's a big one, but it was under that water for a long, long time, and it still goes. So it must be sealed up pretty well.
Yep. Oh,
so
and
they've improved a hell of a lot. Their winches, the Chinese ones.
Yes. Well, the Smitty builds have really amazed me, because I think Rennie's been using his for well over a year now, and it looks like hell. And he puts that Jeep through hell, and it's still going. And we have a vendor right now that's selling them for $279 shipped. I think actually you were asking about it, because you were asking if the shipping was still good for New Zealand.
Yeah, I knew what the answer was, but you got to ask. That's a hell of a price, though.
You never know. Yeah, that's
a good price.
It's an amazing price.
Are they American built?
I'm sorry?
Smitty, are they American built or?
No, I believe it's a Chinese. I mean, the Smittybilt name is an American name, but I believe that's just a Chinese winch with a Smittybilt name on it. And I think, don't quote me on this, but I think that Rough Country, the winch that they've recently started selling, is the exact same winch. I think it's also the same Chinese winch.
Actually, I must get Rennie to post a decent picture of his winch, and you probably find that there's not much difference in the shape or how they look to my one, because being Chinese.
Right. You know, if it works, the cheaper the better. I mean,
well, if it works once when you really need it, mate, it's worth paying for, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And for $279, you know, if I had the funds, I would get one and put one of those little trays that you can plug them into a 2-inch receiver, and I would keep it in the back of my Jeep, and I would put the wiring back there so that I could run it from the back of the Jeep, because you don't always get stuck in the front.
Oh, exactly right. You can do all that with the old blocks and tackle, but yeah, one on the back would be nice, like Steve's got. Or he was modding one up, isn't he?
Oh, that's a beautiful setup. It's very slick.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, Steve does all that stuff that is just all the thinking and the drawing and the doing, and yeah, it's amazing.
He does some good stuff, some nice stuff, especially that Mighty Mike.
Yes, that's true. He gets to play with a lot of stuff. I just wish he wasn't in California. It'd be better to have him here in Texas.
Well, see, I just got to tell those young fellas, all this comes with age. They'll be like that one day.
You know, I wish that was true. I think there's some people that don't go to that level of detail and don't spend the time learning that much. I mean, you can see the level of detail that he goes into just looking at that aluminum rear bumper. It's a nice piece of work, isn't it? It really is. Very fancy, functional, but very fancy. Well, Wayne, thank you very much. I really appreciate this. We've been trying to get you on here and schedule conflicts because of the huge time difference. I think there's like 19-hour time difference between you and me.
Yep.
And
we're 19 hours in front.
Yeah. And so it's great that we were able to get on here and actually get 30 minutes into a recorded interview. And I just want to tell you thank you very much, because you're one interesting fella, and we really appreciate having you on the site. I mean, you're on the site quite a bit. And actually, Wayne is a moderator on our site now, recently became a moderator. So thank you for that as well, Wayne.
It's all good. It's all good. I see you got a night shift man, but he wasn't there last night. I did post about that. I see he answered.
Yep, Brian said he's actually been off on vacation, and he's going back to work tonight. I told him that you were complaining.
Well, did he put him for his vacation?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. I'd be docking him straight away, ain't he?
That's exactly right.
I'll be docking him. That's all good. No, it's a pleasure talking to you, Tony. And g'day to all the rest of the boys out there.
Thank you a lot, Wayne.
Okay, Tony, I'll talk to you later.
This segment sponsored by fourwheelingplus.com. Do you own a Jeep? Do you need help getting it up? Check out fourwheelingplus.com for great deals on Jeep lift kits. That's the number 4, Wheeling Plus, PLUS.com. Well, I think that was a really good interview with Wayne. Wayne's always fun to talk to. He has a good outlook on life. And if you listen to the live interview that we did last week, it was very apparent that he was down when the interview started. And as it progressed, he started picking on Bear and Rennie and several people. So it's hard to keep Wayne in a bad mood. I'm sure it's just like any man with a Jeep. You can get him in a bad mood quickly, but he usually gets himself out of it. We're starting to get sweetness in the chat room. Dalton 4x4 says, "Yeah, the old fart's got a big heart." So we did increase our viewership here in the chat room a bit. It's not big numbers, but we appreciate everybody that's taking out their time to join us on the show. I see Wayne, cantab27, the gentleman we were just interviewing, is on. Dalton 4x4, Lizard Runner, Order, looks like ORODERDENEB, Ordeneb, Punisher 72, Weldman, and a couple of guests. So I think we lost somebody along the way. Could be they just were here for the interview. But thank you guys for for all showing up tonight. By the way, I think I misstated. There was some chat room chatter about Renee and Big Jim out doing the recovery, not Matt. And that probably makes more sense. Matt is helping nurse his wife back to health. She's been sick with the flu, and he probably needs to stay home anyway. So, guys, did you have any questions for Wayne? I mean, you've been talking to him here in chat for a while. I'm not sure if Wayne, if you wanted to call in and chat with us a bit, if you just want to stick in the chat room, that's cool too. Just reading here the chat room, what's going on. Not much. Well, I was kind of thinking that maybe Jensen was going to call in tonight, and if Wayne wasn't available, but I don't think. Yeah, he is online. You know what? I think I'm gonna try calling him. Let's see. Wayne, you weren't going to call in, were you? No telling how long it takes for me for the bit that I just said to get to New Zealand, and then for Wayne to type in an answer. Well, I'm going to try to give Jensen a call. And we're calling now. Shows him online, doesn't show him active. It's ringing, but not getting him. You know, it's a shame. I should have. I was doing some stuff with the system last week, and Renee Argonard sent me a friend's request, and I think it was from his cell phone, and that would have been pretty good to get him on the cell phone. Well, I guess I don't have to get him on Skype. I wonder if we could. I wonder if it would be too bad if he was if he's very busy. We could give him a call and see how the recovery went or how it's going. Let me try that. He can always tell me to go to hell. Let me just grab his number real quick, and we'll give him a call. So I'm going to play some music, and I'm going to see if I can get him on the phone. What are you doing? Did you get the Jeep unflipped? Can you talk to us on the air, or do you need to pay attention to driving? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, but I think that'll be good for a show. You want to do it? All right. Okay, I'll put you on. Hang on.
Somebody's calling.
Somebody answer the damn phone.
It's an XJ Talk live phone call. Okay, well, we've got Rainey on the line. As you can probably hear some of the background noise, he's actually driving down the road in his Jeep. So we're going to be very understanding because Rainey needs to pay attention to the driving more than he does talking to us. Hey, Rainey, you're on. We just got through playing the interview with Wayne that we recorded back before the big quake. And I mentioned in the beginning of the show that you were out unflipping a Jeep this evening.
Hey, Tony, I'm having a real hard time hearing you.
Okay, is that any better?
Way better.
Okay, I was just asking just mentioning that you were helping unflip a Jeep. How did that go?
We got it over. He was going down a little trail that was right next to a real big runoff stream and dropped off in a little ravine that was like a washout, and it fell over and it went literally nose over tail.
Oh,
or
no.
tail over nose. But yeah, we ended up coming up to it, looking at it, scratching our heads. First off, we tried to winch it up the ravine on its lid, and that didn't work, so we just ran the winch cable over the top of the Jeep, or over the bottom of the Jeep, because the bottom was actually all four wheels were in the air, and hooked it to the back bumper and pulled it over, front end dug in the ground, and it came up that way, so it worked.
Wow. That sounds like that was very fortunate. It sounds like it was very fortunate nobody was hurt.
Yeah, it was really amazing that nobody was hurt.
Yeah, when they said roll, I figured that it was an actual, roll over, not a nose over tail. That would be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, it was an end over end, and I was like you. I thought rolled over into a ditch, but no, it was a whole lot worse than that. And actually, there's a lot of pictures of it. I have none because I don't even have my camera with me, but I actually just had my phone, and of course I couldn't see anything, and because we got out here just about dark. So there is some pictures, and they will be up on XJ Talk later on tonight. But yeah, we got pictures of it, and my winch did fine until the very end, and then I've got it hot. So I'm actually running down the road with my winch cable wrapped around my bumper because it got hot enough it actually went in thermal overload.
Wow. So was your vehicle the only vehicle out there for the recovery, or did Jim take his?
No, actually it was me and Wes. The big CJ7 that's on the homepage with the video, it was actually that CJ7 and me. His Jeep, we never even needed it. I mean, we didn't even get it close to the flip over site. The only thing his Jeep got used for was at the very end. We kind of pushed it out by hand, and then Wes tied it and actually pulled it out the rest of the way to the road.
So was this an XJ that rolled over?
It was an XJ.
And is it pretty bad? I mean, I think Big Jeep was saying that it looked like the hood or the roof was crushed and the doors were crushed in.
Believe it or not, the only damage to it really, I mean, besides, dings and dents and stuff all over the Jeep, right about where your mirror would be is feed in about a foot. But other than that, we actually broke out one of the rear windows winching it out. But other than that, it's really not that bad. All four doors still open, or actually the passenger door. No, all four doors still open. And it had a sunroof in it, and the sunroof wasn't even broke.
That's amazing.
Huh? Oh, yeah, and the hatch is destroyed. The big fiberglass hatch was just destroyed.
Was it destroyed in the original accident or the winching out?
The original accident.
Well,
yeah, the only damage we did winching it out was busted out one of the rear windows. It was like, oh, well, what do you do? And the only reason it got busted out is it was actually against the trees. I mean, against the bankment of the ravine, and as it was coming out, it pushed into it and just went. Psh. But that's really the only damage that we did to the Jeep coming out. So, which was pretty amazing, I guess.
Well, boys and girls, let this be a lesson to you that whenever you go out wheeling, you need to be wheeling with a buddy. And I don't mean the buddy sitting next to you in the same Jeep, because these guys were out probably 9 or 10 o'clock last night and in the Jeep by themselves when this happened. You never know when this is going to occur. Were there recovery points on this on the Cherokee?
Yes, there actually, the front bumper was a good recovery point, and the back bumper, the back had a hitch on it, so we actually just used the hitch with a tree saver is what we actually did. And of course, now we did have to tie my Jeep to a tree because it would have sucked me into the ravine. But other than that, and it came out pretty easy.
Great. Well, I hope you do a write-up on that, because there's not a lot of us that have done recoveries. I know I haven't. Well, I've done one recovery, but that was just somebody stuck in a mud hole. This was a major deal, you can tell.
Yeah, this is actually, I've been wheeling for a very, very long time, and this is the very first rollover I've had to go pull out. So this was a new one on me, too.
So did you get to meet our new member, Big Jeep?
Yeah, man, in fact, he's in the Jeep with us right now. We're actually bringing him back to his house.
Was the Cherokee, the rolled Cherokee, was it, what year was that, and was it drivable?
It's a 90. It probably would have been drivable, but it sat overnight with all the oil, leaking into the motor. So
yeah.
We didn't even try to start it.
So is it sitting out there, or is it being trailered back?
They're going to actually call AAA.
Oh, okay. So did you just pull it out to the road, or or is it just where it is?
Yeah, it actually pulled it up to the main road and just left it on the side of the road. That way they can come get it with a wrecker without having any issues.
Wow. Well, and that's the other thing. If you want help in North Houston or Spring or Conroe, you need to do it before 9 p.m. Otherwise, everybody's in bed.
Yeah, pretty much. But this is one of these things where, generally it wouldn't have been a big deal like last night, but I didn't hear my phone, so, what do you do?
Well, you guys get up early. I know Matt gets up early to go to work. You get up early to go to work. I have no excuse for Bear. I'm sorry, I have no excuse for Big Jim. Sorry, Bear.
Yeah, Big Jim gets up early,
but he was on. Yeah, he was on last night. He said that I think he was telling the guy in chat that he had 2 bald tires and a raging case of herpes.
We're going north, but yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, hold on just a sec, guys. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this neighborhood. Okay.
Yeah, actually, if you take a right at the stop sign,
and
take a right at the next stop sign,
they'll bring you back out to the main and do the same thing, take a left.
Live radio, folks.
Okay.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, man, appreciate it. All right. All right. Okay, I'm back on now.
Well, what's your opinion of the rolled Jeep? Is it salvageable?
I would cut the top off and put a cage in it and wheel it. It actually wasn't a bad looking rolled Cherokee. I would imagine before the flip it wasn't half bad. And to be real honest with you, I believe that somebody like Jensen could probably put a top on it because the back part of the top wasn't crushed down that bad. So I mean, more than likely somebody could actually, with a little bit of bodywork experience, probably have this Jeep back up and operational.
Well, I know they skin Jeeps pretty easy, and I bet you, although I don't know, I'd probably have to think about it for 5 minutes, but I bet you could actually cut a top off another Cherokee and do it, fix it quicker. But like you say,
probably so.
But like you say, you can. Was it a daily driver, or was it a off-road, primarily off-road vehicle?
Was that a daily driver, Jim? Do you know? No, it was primarily off-road.
Oh, well, time to scrap the hood, scrap the roof and put a roll bar in it then.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the call right here in the middle of all the stuff that you're doing. It's a great story, breaking story that's going on, and I look forward to seeing those pictures.
Yeah, so do I. And we actually got pictures of it the whole way around. I mean, as it was coming up, they were taking pictures, so we should have some pretty good pictures of it. And it was a little bit different. Like I said, this is my first real rollover recovery, so I'm interested to see how the pictures turned out.
Also, too, did we get a new XJ Talk member out of this rollover recovery?
The guy knows about XJ Talk. He said he was going to sign up and put some pictures on, so we'll see.
Excellent. It's all been worth it.
Yep.
All right, man. Have a very good night and a safe trip home.
All right, we'll talk to y'all later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Here
we go, guys. And so that was, I know I was personally curious about what had gone on with that rollover recovery, and we just happened to get Rini at the right time to where he could actually talk about it. They were apparently had just finished up and were driving back to, I guess that was big Jeep that was being let out at his house. So man, I cannot stress how generous that is of Rainey. Of course, he's just that way, to go out there on a Wednesday night, miss the show. I mean, that's small, right? But go out there on a Wednesday night and help out a fellow Jeeper. And that's the big thing that really impresses me about you guys, is the community. I know that we can fight and squabble and raise hell and maybe drink too much, and that's part of the reason all the rest of it happens. But when people need help, there's somebody with a Jeep willing to go out of their way to lend you a hand. So, pretty cool stuff. It makes me very proud to be a small part of bringing you guys together with xjtalk.com. So before we leave, I'd like to play our newest commercial, our newest vendor, fourwheelingplus.com. Ron is the owner of said company, and he's actually the gentleman that I bought my rough country 4.5-inch lift from, that got the whole thing started with my Jeep. So Ron was kind enough to become a paid vendor on xjtalk.com, which if you have a company, you can as well. Well, even if you don't have a company, that's fine. You can be a paid vendor. But here's fourwheelingplus.com's commercial. This segment sponsored by fourwheelingplus.com. Do you own a Jeep? Do you need help getting it up? Check out fourwheelingplus.com for great deals on Jeep lift kits. That's the number 4, wheeling plus plus.com. xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Hey, how would you like to advertise on XJ Talk Talk Show and reach a worldwide Jeep audience? Just send an email to advertise@xjtalk.com for more information.
This is Brian XJ, just calling in to tell you that we really like the website, full of a lot of tech and a lot of good people. I always get a response back quickly. Thanks. Have a good day.
I just wanted to say XJ Talk is the best fucking site in the fucking world. And if you think you know of a better fucking site, fuck you. By the way, this is Big Jim 350. Bye.
And guys, that's another show in the can. Not porta potty. I want to thank Wayne very much for not only being the interviewee, but also for showing up on chat tonight. It's always good to see that you have electricity and internet, and just so we can know that you're there and doing okay. I know it's probably getting pretty old, all this shaking that you're having to go through, but stay with it, man. It'll get back to where it used to be, stable as a rock. No pun intended. We do have a new contest on xjtalk.com. It is a Performance Distributors Firewire 4.0 kit giveaway. Just go to xjtalk.com and look in the announcements, and you'll see how to go about entering and winning. You do need to be an XJ Talk member, and it will require you calling into our voicemail line. And you should know that number by now, but just in case, that's 530-675-4102. You can also follow XJ Talk on Facebook and Twitter. Just do a search, Twitter space XJ Talk, Facebook space XJ Talk. Really easy. We'd like to see you on there. Thanks, guys, and thank you for another great show. See you on the site.
Hey, sweetness.